Hello there, this is Retro Spirits Guidance, and this is Astro City Mini V. The V stands for vertical. This is a mini console. It looks like a little arcade machine, as I'm sure you know. So the screen in the actual console is vertically oriented, and we're playing this through a monitor, which is in Tate mode. So there's a rotation button in the menu that lets you rotate it 90 degrees there, look. Beautiful. There's other little menu items there, look. None of them seem to, well, the volume ones never seem to work. But here's the games. We've got Sonic Wings, Doggy, Desert Breaker, Raiden, Outzone, which is Same, Wrestle War, Tatsujin, Action Fighter, Galavan, it's a platform game, that's another shooter, Saxon's a shooter, Mooncrest is a shooter, shooter. They're all shooters, apart from that Galavan game, and that's Samurai Aces, that's cool, VV, it's alright, Betsy Gun, and Truxton 2. So there's a lot of games on here which are fairly difficult to obtain or sought after on various home formats. We're going to play Truxton 2 here. The reason I bought this unit mainly is because of Batrider, Battleback Raid, and Outzone. Batrider I loved, Outzone I loved, and I never played Battleback Raid, so I was tempted in by those three. And Truxton 2 here is another rare game. I think it only came out on the home, on something like the FM Towns Marty, which is slightly random. I remember being reviewed in Edge magazine, and it's a okay shoot 'em up. It's quite hard. I find the best way to deal with the enemies in this game is to park your ship halfway up the screen with a red weapon and just do what I'm doing here. If you stay at the bottom of the screen, you end up dying rather quickly. Anyway, the unit itself has a, like I say, a vertically oriented screen. The screen is fairly small. It's not as big as the Egret 2 screen, but the unit is not as big as the Egret 2 either. And that wouldn't be a problem. The screen's kind of nice and sharp, and it's not ghosting or anything as far as I can tell with my old man eyes. But what I will say is, with a lot of the games on here being bullet hell shoot 'em ups, and the screen being sort of the same size as a large mobile phone, large-ish mobile phone, not the biggest, it's really difficult to see what's going on. You can't track bullets. So you really need to, well, for me, for people of a certain age, plug it into a TV or a, well, as in this case, I don't know why I said TV, you don't need to plug it into a TV, you can plug it into a monitor. You can't plug it into a TV, do you? It's your unit, isn't it? The music on this game is fairly whiny, isn't it? Anyway, yeah, so plug it into TV, get it in Tate mode, rotate your TV around, stand on its end, and play some full screen pixel art games. Now apparently, people have been complaining about lagginess on these games on the interwebs, and that may be the case. But I don't tend to notice it. I don't know if it's just because say I'm incredibly old, I don't care, or the fact that Outzone is finally released officially in the home on a device, and it's got me too excited. But I don't tend to notice that. The games are hard, but they always were hard, so I'd have to do some sort of scientific research to validate that for myself. But other people on the internet have done that anyway. So take a look at those videos and see whether you think the lag is something that will annoy you. I don't even notice it. Again, because I'm probably so very old, I'm just happy to be alive. We're shooting sort of evil space rocks here. Yes, this game's mildly diverting. I don't think it's awesome. by any stretch of the imagination. A lot of people really overrate Truxton, I find. Or Tatsujin. It's a cool game, no doubt, but it's not super exciting. The graphics in this game are nicely drawn, however. We're sort of fitting the arcade game into a sort of squashing it down into a horizontal format. And actually, the graphics hold up pretty well on most of these games. We do have some filters that mitigate some pixel crawl. I will show the filters later. One of which is bafflingly ugly, but yeah, that's Tatsujin 2. It's pretty cool. It's nice that it's on here. Like I say, it's a rare game. I'm sure if you main all this shit though, it's not rare to you. The other thing to say about the unit itself, before we move on to other games, is the joystick on it is pretty crappy. Well, the joystick on my unit is pretty crappy. I don't know if it's a manufacturing defect, or whether it's just a low quality joystick across the whole range. Oh, Batrider. The buttons are quite slappy buttons. They're fine, but because the games tend to have auto fire on one of the buttons, it doesn't make a difference. And the interface is okay to navigate. You've got 2 buttons on the front of the unit, which you press one and then it gets back to the menu. What I normally do actually is I usually play this with the Mega Drive Mini Pad through a monitor in Tata mode. And the Mega Drive Mini Pad doesn't have all the buttons you need to quit out of games, so you have to press the button on the unit to quit out, which is fairly good. Batrider here, I don't think it's ever had a home conversion as far as I know, and I only ever played this in MAME back in the day, and I loved it. I loved the whole atmosphere. I loved the fact that you had a different pilot for each life that you've got. That's cool. It's sort of Battle Garega style bomb action and medal action, and it's just got some nice locations and cool bosses and lots of laser fire. So for me, this game was a win, and it is still a win. It's harder than I remember, and this might be where the lag comes in, or my advanced years have slowed my reactions and dulled my senses. It's annoying when it fires the power-ups around the screen when you die for you to pick up again, but that's the only thing that's annoyed me about this game so far. I do seriously enjoy this game. It's cool, and it's a shame it never came out on the Saturn. Just a bonus stagey feel to this level. Yeah, so that's groovy. It's cool that they put it on here. And Battle Back Raid, again, might have come out on something like PS2. I don't know, but I've never played that game before this unit. And that's a cool game. And look at this crazy ass action going on here. So I imported my unit directly from Amazon Japan, and I paid about 140, I think. And for 140 quid you get 20-ish games and the unit. So if you say 5 quid a game, 5 times 20 is 100 quid, and 40 quid for the unit. Yeah, the unit's not brilliant. Having played with the Grip 2 extensively, I've got to say the unit itself feels a little cheap. The joystick's not great, like I said. On the back you have 2 inputs for USB pads, HDMI out, and there's a headphone jack there, and just a power switch. The whole thing lights up when you turn it on, which is nice on the front. Yeah, I would say the unit is the least exciting thing about this. It's the games that are on it that's the exciting thing for me. I had to have Alex because it's gorgeous. Gorgeous game. I'd have loved to have own the actual arcade PCB in an outside in cabinet. That'd be awesome, but it's never going to happen. I can't fit that in my house, so this will have to suffice. So for me, I do like this console, and I've played it a shit ton just because of that one game, which I think I might have mental issues. I love it so much, I'm trying to marry it. No, that's stupid. The bosses in this game are not that interesting looking, which is a bit of a departure for a Rising game. Some of them are kind of like bland, but they're kind of like those bland triangular aircraft, which isn't. The one thing I will say about this unit is, if you don't like vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups, don't buy it. There's a lot of games on here that thematically look very similar. Like this could be, if you squint, this level could be Batsugan, but it isn't. It's Battle Back Raid. There's a really odd game on here called Galavan. It's batshit crazy. It's like a platform shooter, and I don't know what the rules are, but you tend to cycle through shit tons of power-ups, and you're kind of walking through a vertically scrolling maze. It's just really odd. It's a bit out of place. So everything else is, like I said, a shooter. Zaxxon is a pain in the ass until you get used to the perspective. And we've got, what else was a bit weird on here? Mooncrester is a bit crusty. Terracrester is really hard, but I remember playing that in the arcade, and it hasn't aged brilliantly, but there is a quite cool power-up system in that game. So there's a couple of weaker games on here, depending on your preferences. Like here's another bland-looking triangular boss. Yeah. Mooncrester, I would say. Zaxxon, just the earlier stuff is a little weaker, and that Galavan game's crazy. The worst game on here actually is Wrestle War. Now I think about it, Wrestle War is, and always has been, a frustrating game to look at because of the way it flips the screen around. It's causes seizures, left, right, and centre. It's just really ugly, and the game itself is a typical wrestling game where you aren't sure whether you're ever going to win or not, because it's kind of like a random choice whether you can press those buttons fast enough for it to you to win the grapples. It's like auto win grapples. Yeah, never much fun. Let's go back to the menu. Gunbird's cool, VV's cool, Sonic Wings is alright, Raiden's cool, but we're going to play Daddy, we're going to play Outzone. Love this game, love this game. I love the music, love the graphics, love the gameplay. Look at that cool dude. He's just the coolest dude ever. He's got like a big jacket and sunglasses. You notice there's pixel crawl there on the intro, the horizontally scrolling part. It's because it's squashed into this little TV. I keep saying TV, but I'm actually putting something from the monitor. So what makes this game so fun? Well, you kind of scroll at your own pace. You've got an energy bar there, which is basically a timer that just ticks down. But you can tackle situations at your own pace. There's loads of little areas with different sets of enemies or placements of enemies that you have to work around to change your weapon between the three-way and the single fire. You've got this purple thing that flies around the screen, which is very strange. As you can see here, the environment blocks all the bullets, so there's a little bit of a tactical thing going on here. There's just loads of shit flying around. Everything's coolly, sort of very coolly drawn, designed. These units look groovy. It's got some super bosses in it, and it gets to a point where the game starts throwing these weapons your way. So you get like, well, Super Ball. You get this ball on a stick, and it just flies around you. And this boss can sometimes be a bit tricky because of its fine little lobbing abilities, but I am teaching it a lesson here. I can't always do that. Sometimes I get caught out, but that was nice gameplay there. quite pleased with myself. As you can see, like the bosses below, they look like a crater in the floor. Oh, stuff. There's secrets in this game as well. You can get a formation of airplanes that follow you around. See if I can achieve airplaneage. There we go. Beautiful. I think what you have to do there, and I've never confirmed this, is get all the trees on the screen at the same time before you shoot them, and then the formation of planes will come and help you out. Weird, huh? But hey, it's in there. Yeah, so you get Super Ball, you get a Super Burner, which is like a flamethrower, which is ultimate destruction. You'll take anything out in a nanosecond that has limited range. And you get extended energy bar, which gives you more time, which I believe I've already picked up. You get speed up, so your character runs twice as fast, which has the same effect as the extra energy, but makes your character harder to control, so I'd avoid that. There's also a shield, and there's a 1-up. So the game's fairly simple, really. It's just the overall atmosphere and the style of it. It's for me. It's like they built this game specifically for my brain. What it reminds me of, a very, well, it's very anime, kind of end of 1970s, early 80s sci-fi anime, and it's just my bag. It's just my bag. They couldn't have designed a game to appeal to me more as a teenage lad. So, yeah, maybe nostalgia is taking, or making a big part of my reaction. But it is still a cool game. I can't deny that. Like these, like you got these little different sections in the level. Like this bit now is like you have to avoid falling down the holes. I just picked up the Super Burner by accident. Super Burner is powerful, but it's not suitable for this section, and it's difficult to aim it. So the Super Ball is definitely the way to go. The Super Ball can just wipe out bosses in like 3 seconds. It's crazy. Oh, here we go. We've got a tank boss. Oh, this is beautiful. You'll have noticed this driving under the level earlier on in the level, if you're eagle-eyed. It's just stuff like that. It's just cool. Yeah, I'll just blow his guts up. And I'll walk through his corpse. Watch out, there's a tank that comes out the back when you go here. There it is. There he sometimes, if you're unaware, you'll sometimes drive into that little tank. Very frustrating. The music's very upbeat. It's kind of the usual Tower Plan music though, kind of done in the Tower Plan style. But cool tunes. We've got some larder here. See? Yeah, this is one of my favourite kind of walking around run and gun games. In the same vein as Elemental Master on the Mega Drive, and the really expensive one on the Mega Drive I can't remember the name of, which is like £100. But this is better than all of those. I wish they'd have converted this to the Mega Drive rather than Zero Wing, to be fair. They just never did. Don't know why. Don't tend to use the purple gun very much, but it's very useful for this section, which is a bit mazy, as you can see. These differently armoured dudes have got quite the accurate shots, and they're very fast shots as well, so you have to be careful there. Lovely. Three ways the way to go most of the time in this game. Lovely. Yep. It's that one. Energy extend. Oh yeah, I died from so I lost it. Yeah, and you got smart bombs. Although I don't think I've used a smart bomb yet. But smart bombs are quite powerful in this game. The other thing that's kind of cool is when you die, your explosion will take out. Usually take out the dude that shot you, which is satisfying. Even though it's painful dying, but at least it took the fucker out. Yeah, sorry, I'm just too weird. Anyway, this is a 2-player game as well. Never used to play it 2-player in the arcade. To be fair, I might have been the only person in the arcade who ever played this game. It's not flashy, is it? It's not a flashy game, but it is incredibly detailed. And Once you get into it, it's super fun. I can't recommend ASTRO enough. And actually, there's an interview. Oh, this boss is epic. It cuts away the floor, like there's laser in the floor, and the floor falls away. Oh man, they don't make bosses like this anymore. It's carving up the world. There was an interview on YouTube you can find with some dude who was either just like the head of Towerplan or responsible for making most of Towerplan's games. He goes through a load of games essentially, and even he says that Outzone is the best game Towerplan ever made, and I'm not going to argue with that because it's probably my favourite Towerplan game too. There's a smart bomb. Lovely. This boss is slightly painful if you don't have a power. Groovy. Love Outzone. Can't get enough of it. Never completed it, I've got to say. I've been to sort of area sort of 70%. There's a giant gun emplacements and stuff. It gets quite difficult. There's a platform section where you're kind of stuck on a small platform, like an auto-scrolling section. That's fairly difficult if you're not tooled up. So yeah, the game does get tough later on. We're going to go into Tarte mode here, and we're going to play. What we're going to play? We're going to play Outzone again in Tarte mode, just to show you how nice the graphics look. So rotate your phones, people. Rotate your screens. Take a look at this. Oh, and if you put more than one credit in, look. Oh, you get the red players one more time. Oh, it's just lovely. Yeah, I'd much rather play this than Mercs. I'm just trying to think of some more vertically scrolling shoot 'em ups that I've played. The character-based ones. It's kind of like, I do like Gunsmoke. I prefer this to Gunsmoke. Yeah, Mercs can sod off. Yeah, this is. What other ones have I got of note right now? Don't know, but this is the one. Doesn't matter. Look at the insane detail on this brass. I think this is what it was when I was a teenager, seeing graphics of this quality. But there's a lot of skulls there. Look, oh, the skulls that have vanquished. Purple space rocks. We love those. Space columns. Half man, half tank. Oh, take a laser to the face. There's more skulls. Oh, there's just humans ground into the dirt. Look at the craters. You blow the things up and then leave massive craters. And that blew me away at the time. I was like, oh, that's epic. Look at tank trucks and craters. There's just stuff in this game. Look at the details here. Look, there's a little crack in the concrete and swish of mud. Oh, you can't say fairer than that. No, I'm not going to do the boss this time. I'm going to die this time. Oh, he's dodging. He's got rid of one of them. He's got. Oh, they got me. They got me. See, I don't do it every time. I try not to use a bomb on there because you get a bonus points for how many bombs you have left. And actually, I think if you max out 8 or 9 bombs, I can't remember what the number actually is, and you keep collecting bombs, you get quite a nice bonus. So we're going to use some filters here. So Arcade 1. What does that do? Let's have a look. I think Arcade 1 is the disgusting filter. Yeah, so this is a disgusting filter. I'm not quite sure what they're trying to represent here. Maybe a broken monitor? But it's weird. It's weird and ugly, and they shouldn't have done it. It looks like it's putting horizontal and vertical scan lines on, and then blurring the image and offsetting the colours. It's weird. I don't know what this is supposed to represent. They really shouldn't have bothered with this filter. There you go. Just blew me up, took him out. Let's try another one. And what was happening here? We'll go into the filters again. Arcade 2? Arcade 2 I think is just scan lines plus blur. So let's take a look at that. This one's not so bad. It's still not. I still don't know why they would make it blurry. You can add the scan lines, but what's the point of making it blurry? I don't know. Maybe again that's to mitigate the pixel crawl you get in some of these games, because some of them, I think Raiden especially, does have some shimmering on the graphics. But this one's not pretty, but at least it's usable, unlike the first filter we tried. And then down the bad boys here. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know what the plot is. Like in all these games, it's almost like you're invading their planet to take out their king or their emperor on their turf. I don't know if this is supposed to be Earth and these are invaders, but you get rejected in at the beginning into some sort of jungle thing. So I don't know, but I'm sure there is a plot of some description. Alright, let's try another filter. Return to menu. I had to press the buttons on the device here to get back to the screen. Let's try the standard effects. So here we just got some smoothing, some blurring of pixel edges. No scan lines, just a bit of blur. And this is how the machine comes. It comes with this mode. And it's okay. It does look visibly blurry though. When you're close up to it, close up and personal. It's not horrific. It's cheap though, cheap looking I'd say. And not really how you'd like to see your pixel art games, I would imagine. So, playing with gay abandon here, I'm like just charging at them, and it seems to be working. So, yeah, maybe you don't have to play it so tactically. Maybe you could just run around screaming whilst shooting in every direction, and that would win you the game. Oh, they got me. They got me eventually. Right then. Let's try the last filter, which is pixel, or turn the last filter on, which is pixel perfect. Or sharpen. They've called it sharpen, but it might just be they've turned all the filters off. I don't know. Game warning again. So do I recommend the unit? Again, I think I said this before, it's 140 quid. Your mileage may vary. It depends whether you like the games that are on here. Ooh, let's press up the filters here. Sharpen's definitely the best one. Arcade 1 is just weird. Yeah, your mileage may vary, and it depends whether you want to play the games on it, I would say. If you're only interested in one or two of the games, not worth it, is it? But there is, I mean, there is some epic games on here, like Gunbird is really cool. And Batsigan. Dogian is a really strange game. I can't get into it. It's graphically fairly intense. There's a lot of shit flying around. I don't know what's going on with it though. What else we got here? Truxton 2, Truxton, Tatsujin. Well thought of games. So Batrider is very cool. VV is groovy. Action Fighter is not that interesting. Yeah, so there's a couple of games in here which potentially you won't play a lot, but there's a lot of games that you will, so it's up to you. This game, I just thought I'd give this a quick run out, show off the filters, see if we've got some pixel quality, because I think there's some on here. It's a bit shimmery, it's a little bit shimmery. This game is rock hard, by the way. It's get like 2 enemies on the screen and it's very difficult to survive. I'm playing incredibly badly, obviously, but if you get powered up, it does become quite epic. Coming to the end of the video now. It's a cool device. Like I said, my unit seems to be, the joystick on my unit is not brilliant. Check out some other YouTube videos, see if the lag is going to annoy you. and I'll see you again next time. Okay, ta-ra!